Hey everybody, my name's Champion Beatrix, and these colors are really saturated for a reason I don't understand, but I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, this is about the final leg of building the GarageBand garage. I didn't record the others because I didn't have Replay Mod installed, but I'm very fond of display entities. I've been through a few methods of being extremely perfectionistic in my Minecraft building, starting off with armor stands, which I found so finicky that it was exhausting to use them. And I find display entities a lot cleaner, especially now that I've started to use Axiom, which I've just done very recently. Before that, I used this blockbench style modeler called BD Engine, which was useful, but it really does have a different feeling when you're just making the models yourself. Okay, now we're outside, now we're back inside. That was just so I could group and ungroup without hooking on to any other entities, because it was pretty difficult. The space was pretty packed with them. So yeah, you can see before that I had already done a bunch of work. But it really has a different feeling when you're switching between programs, and most importantly, you kind of try to use controls for one program on the other program, and it doesn't work. But anyway, here I am working on more trim. Basically, it's a lot of what I did. Do peep the ladder. I'm very happy with that. I used the override brightness setting to make it look washed out and more metallic. And then we went on to this part of the wall. Again, it was pretty hard to group things, so I had to do it in two parts, just because if I tried to group it all at once, it would pick up pieces of the ladder too. That flooded the place. This is underneath an ocean. But I realized I was going to have to move the trim on the ceiling because the offsets of blocks were slightly different, and within my references, they connected. This was all about being extremely obedient to references, which is something I find really relaxing in art, is just trying to match things as closely as possible, and especially when it comes to mediums that have constraints like Minecraft. Trying to obey the style of what you're working in, because, I don't really enjoy, like, super curves in Minecraft or anything like that, like super high-res textures, but I also want to be pretty accurate to what I'm trying to recreate. That's a big part of it for me. After that, I just finished up the trim. This roof was actually really awful to build, by the way. I didn't understand what was happening. But in addition to trying to obey my reference, I also found that the three references I was using had some continuity errors, and I had to choose which ones to follow. But when it came to that, I followed the most colorful or interesting ones, just to get as much detail as possible. GarageBand is a cartoon that I was very fond of as a child. It's hard to say that it had some kind of profound emotional impact on me. I just really enjoyed the story and the characters. And I think there's definitely some seed it planted in me, which led me to become a bassist and ultimately a guitarist later in life. But candles are a really versatile block. Yeah, you can see I just used them to hang up the ladder, which is, like, honestly one of my favorite details from this, and then I go ahead and use them as darts on the dartboard here. Netherite blocks are also very versatile. It's funny, Trina's car's wheels are netherite blocks, which I think she would appreciate if she knew what that was. I used this technique of covering blocks in glass so I could, match both textures and colors. You can see I did that on those great chairs in the back. I'm not sure how easy it is to tell. For me, it's easy to tell since I made them, but I don't know. I think at first glance it looks pretty good. But I made the gas canister, the chests I definitely appreciate because they had a very accurate texture, and then I saw there's a little sticky note pinned to the dartboard, so I used a creeper face. Definitely one of my favorite details about this is that the GarageBand skull has been replaced both on the big wall behind the stage and Khan's drum set with the skulls and wither skulls. I don't know if you ever get close enough to see Khan's drum set, but it's a really cute detail I appreciate. I had more wall trim. I forgot about some wall trim. But I think it's really cute that it just kind of combines the aesthetics and the style of Minecraft, which, like, again, I do enjoy kind of finding a way to compromise between those two things, in addition to being as accurate as possible. So you see, you have that big skull panning in. I find it very charming. So then I did the speakers. That speaker model, I believe, was also from blockdisplay.com, and I will be linking all the block display models I used, even though I do definitely highly edit most of them. The UK flag I initially tried to create just with plain entities, and that wasn't gonna work. So I used this, there was some setting I'd put on that screwed everything up, but I had found a command a few days previously that allowed me to make a shield into an entity, but the shield wasn't detailed enough for me, so I figured out how to swap the command out to use a banner. And I'll link that Reddit comment I got the command from. I'm pretty proud of myself for managing to, like, figure out how to use it in different ways, but yeah, I'm so sorry about this camera. This is absurd. I think I spent some time now just screwing around and running around the room, but take a look at that shot. Pretty nice. Champion, what are you doing? Anyway, then I did the same trick with a Minecraft head from minecraftheads.com to make the stage light. This is the YOLO room. So this world is, like, there's definitely a lot going on, and this, yeah, that's all I have to say. So I hung up the light, and then I went and made the ceiling lights, and I hung those up too. This is my first time using replay mod, if you couldn't tell. Then I fixed the setting in Axiom that let me open doors again. Ignore the head on the floor. That's one of my characters. I just put her everywhere. Then I used a model from blogdisplay.com of a washing machine and repurposed every part of it, and then hooked it up on the wall, put a barrier behind it. Then I started making the cardboard box on top of the refrigerator up until I realized I hadn't made the refrigerator. So I took another bottle and repurposed it until it was the refrigerator of Theseus. And that went really well, right up until I accidentally deleted it, not to do it again. But I was really good at it by then. Making refrigerators, that is. The scale was screwed up, I don't know why. But I even got the little sticky note with the anarchy symbol on it. Then I just had to pop that in there, put the box on top, put barriers everywhere, camera spins, then I made a little trash can, and that was it.